So tell me, Mick, how did you and Don first meet up? What was the surrounding?
Well, I've known Don for about over 10 years now. He was a DJ in a punk club, the Roxy. But we met up a few years ago again. Well, we'd seen each other most of the time, you know, we'd done some work together.
Yeah, what sort of stuff?
Videos, mostly.
What was this
videos?
With,
he was directing and I
directed all the Clash videos.
Oh, right. And after the Clash came about its end, right, you guys started Big Audio Dynamite. What was the sort of idea behind the band originally?
We started working on Bad Wolf. The idea behind the band was to play sort of music that we liked. You know, we used to go to clubs all the time, which we still do, you know, and that sort of music that we heard in clubs, we wanted to sort of make ourselves, and we liked, like, a bit of reggae, and we liked some of the New York stuff, you know, and we still liked, like, rock and roll guitar.
And how did you assemble the band? Because the video for Bottom Line, the first single, it seems to have some sort of bearing to do with this.
Yeah, you know, it's like in the Magnificent Seven or something, where there's one of you and then you go and get your best mate, and then there's two, now we are two, and then 3 and 4. We got like one out of the newspaper. We just opened the newspaper one day and he jumped out, and that was the drummer, and a bass player I'd known for a bit of a long time as well, because he was one of Don's buddies from way back, and then the keyboard player came to take our photograph. And,
Dan?
Yeah, Dan.
Yeah, right.
And he came to take a photograph, and he did actually take the photograph for the first album, and that's why he's not in it, because he took the photograph, but we said, why don't you stay and play keyboards and help us out? And he has ever since, and he does the photographs and the keyboard playing. And
Don, did you start working on the early videos? I mean, was that one of yours?
Bottom Line was actually directed by a guy called Kevin Hewitt, and because I'm in the band, you can't be on both sides of the camera at once. Me and Mick will originate the idea with the director, and on the day he'll direct the video, I'll direct the band. It's worked quite well. And sometimes we've got other people to do it as well.
Since we've done that first one, though, we try to, like, simplify the idea, you know. Since then, a lot, as we go along, gradually sort of making it better, you know. Trying to not make too big a deal of the videos, really. You know, do a video, sure, but don't make a big deal about it. Don't be swanning around Sri Lanka on a Harley, you know. Right.
But there's a strong feeling about London in all the videos that we see. I mean, like, talking about...
there's certain things that go through all of them, you know, where we live.
E = MC squared was like the big hit, you know, that was the single off the album that everyone bought. And that video there's a lot of footage from films and stuff like this. Does this reflect a sort of mutual interest in cinema or what?
Yeah, we've both got a healthy appetite for films. And,
I think that was part of, like, the group, you know, we all love films as well, you know. When we were supposed to be recording, we'd all be watching the television, you know, watching videos, having the Big Audio Dynamite Film Festival.
Where's that? Where do they happen?
They happen when we were supposed to be recording. In the other room of the studio where they have a television, we just, like, watch videos all the time.
And where do you do all your recording?
Well, anywhere cheap, really.
I see.
In London.
London, basically,
did you choose any of the clips in that, the Nick Rogue stuff? Was that all just arbitrary, or was it sort of like fairly...
No, well, we try and do it where we think it's appropriate, you know, try and use it intelligently.
Somebody I know.
Coming on to Medicine Show, what was the sort of feeling behind the band in this one? Because it looked like you were having a lot of fun, and... That's
us swanning about in Sri Lanka with the birds and the cars and everything. It's the band being what we really are, which is a bunch of arses, really.
There's like a fistful of Miami Vice or something in that video, but basically it's trying to, you know, not let all the media have it all their own way, really. Try and use it for some good use. Really.
Is there a basic...
Because I don't really like Miami Vice, you know, but I can't help... It's like, you don't like things, but you can't help watching them, or I can't help reading The Sun, you know.
I recognise quite a few faces in there.
Yeah. You mean Joe and Paul, right, from my previous band, The Clash.
Yeah.
And also Johnny Rotten's in there.
How'd you pull them
John
in?
Lydon. It's the old boy network, I think. The old school tie.
Did Johnny Rotten behave himself?
He shot a photographer.
Yeah. Several times. Yeah, he got a bit bored waiting around for his take. He shot someone.
What would you say was the basic feeling on the first album behind these 3 videos? What was the sort of summing up?
Well, the album was made as an album, never mind the videos. The videos came after the fact, and I think, you know, we had to spend time finding our own particular sound.
What we try to do is not do anything that we couldn't do ourselves. No session musicians, you know. We decided we were going to just sort of throw down and play what we could do, and then we wouldn't have trouble playing live because we'd be doing it in the record anyway, you know. It wasn't a case of us standing around at the other side of the control room watching our record being made, you know, somebody else pressing play on some machine, you know what I mean? We were all in there, reading the newspaper.
Watching the videos.
Watching the videos.
But when you hear 10 seconds of any of our records, they're unmistakably bad.
Yeah, because it's all the things we like put together, you know, but somehow it comes out our own, you know. It's the movies and it's reggae bass and it's hip-hop drums and...
punky guitar.
Punky guitar and attitude. You know, love of the movies.
Yeah.
All those things come together and they make bad.
So do you have a lot of time to do all this sort of stuff? I mean, behind the recording sessions?
Yeah, we try not to be too precious about it and take too long in the recording sessions, you know, because we don't want to... We try and work it out beforehand as much as possible. Although on the first album we worked it out for about a year. On the second album we only worked it out for 2 weeks because we didn't have any time, you know.
Yeah. I mean, the second album to me seems... It's much more raw and sort of down to earth.
Yeah, we're trying to be a bit simpler and like be a bit more understandable, really, not to be too clever, not to be a clever dick.
Is that what, I mean, to look at the videos, for instance, Beatbox, I mean, it's a very sort of...
Yeah, I think you should just not make a big deal about your videos, but just try and do a performance. What I like best is if I'm watching a video, is like somebody actually who's a performer who can actually do that, you know. A group like consists of making a reasonable video, you know, a decent record, being able to play live. I think you can't just be...
You can't fake it with a film.
You can, but it's just not the same, you know. It's much more difficult. It's much more difficult to form a band.
Did you have anything to do with the videos on the second album?
Well, like I said, we have something to do with all of them, really. I mean, whether I co-direct or we call somebody and we usually conceive the ideas. And, you know, as Mick says, from, you know, the first to the last...
We try to have some consistency, you know, throughout, you know. There's, like, constant use of other stuff. We're into that as well.
That's what you're picking up all the time.
Bit of piracy.
Yeah, because, I mean, that following from Beatbox, V13, it's another sort of, you know, it's a down-to-earth video, isn't it?
Yeah, I think we're trying to be down to earth. I think the band is, like, about the present as opposed to, like, we're not hung up on the past and we're not trying to be all futuristic and Mad Maxy, you know. We're trying to keep our feet on the ground, really. Trying to be a bit more realistic than, you know, doing some, I don't know, phony promo or something. Or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, I think I recognise another face in the ticket office there again.
Yeah, Wiley. Pete Wiley's in there.
Is he a leaguer with you boys, or what?
Yeah, he's a mate from Liverpool.
Yeah. Do you hang out with him quite a lot?
Well, yeah, we like to go out.
He hangs out with everyone, doesn't he?
Well, we like all that, yeah. We like to go out. We're all for that. We're all for having a good time.
And do you think it's very... I mean, like, in the video there's a lot of shots of, you know, the kids and stuff like this. I mean, it's a very important thing to you.
We don't exist without the audience. We respect them.
And we nick their ideas as well. As anything else, you know.
It ain't a spectator sport, BAD. You get as much out of it as you put in.
Good morning. Go to other gigs and stuff like that. Do you sort of look at other music a lot?
I haven't seen a group, you know, that much, but I go out a lot.
Yeah.
But I usually don't see the groups.
And how do you feel you're placed in music at the moment and relating to other bands?
I don't know, I think we're an example of what can be achieved outside of, like, having millions of MTV plays and, like, a lot of radio play, you know. People, we don't really care that much about that, you know. Sometimes we don't release 7 inches. We just release 12 inches because I think that people talk about us and then they come and check us out and they know that we're a good live band, you know. And we value that more. That's where our values are at, really. The word of mouth, the way that it spreads around is better than all this radio hype business. Don't like it.
How did you encounter Jim Jarmusch?
He's another friend of ours from, like, you know, about a year ago or something. He liked it. He came to us and said, like, I really like the song and I like to make a film of it as Sightsee.
Come in.
Line between a song and its video, then?
Well, I think that the song's the most important thing, you know.
It's got to be up to the imagination.
There's got to be somebody home when you're listening to the song, really. You know, that's a good starting point. I think most songs are really good that if you, like, just play it on the guitar first. If it's any good on the guitar or on a piano or something, then it's a reasonable song, you know. But a lot of the songs that I hear nowadays that are in the charts and stuff haven't even got a tune, I think.
Tell me about this thing, Planet Bad.
It's just an itinerant club that we do whenever we can.
Forum for new talent in London. You know what I mean? When we're going around checking out what's going on, we'll give them an opportunity to put it across as well.
It's like we're quite concerned with a social scene, not just, you know, just sort of being a boring group, really. We don't mind... I always picked these guys so I could spend time with them, you know. I knew I was going to be living out of their pockets for the next couple of years or whatever, so...
What's it been like, Jim?
Rough, Rasta, rough. It ain't so bad. I mean, I joined Big Audio Dynamite for some new inspiration, because as I said, I used to make videos. I got fed up of doing that. And Mick said, you know, come and find a solution. And it's been great. I wouldn't be doing it otherwise.
Because he was getting to the point where people were asking him, what should he do in the video, you know what I mean? Should I lie down or roll over?
Yeah, and I was used to working with groups that knew what they were about, and I did my bit, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it became a job.
Yeah. And what, I mean, how did you enter the music side of it then? I mean,
Well,
I'm still trying.
Yet. He's going to eventually. We've got these coloured stickers that are really great, and he's got them all on his keyboard. So this finger is like insured for more than Liberace's gonads. It's really terrific.
It's been to Betty Ford.
It's had its blood change.
And tell me about the lyrics in your songs. I mean, do you have anything to do with that, Don?
A little bit. I'm working
you
on
have
it.
a lot to do with it.
I have a lot to do. I have a really, really lot to do with it. No, I'm trying. It's like, you know, I'm the apprentice, and dare I say, he's the maestro, and I'm learning as I go along. You know, you don't pick up that stuff overnight.
But it's good, because he's got a really fresh approach to things, you know. I mean, he's not all, like, jaded like some people. And he's, like, sets a stage and then tells a story on it. And I really like that. It's a direct approach. And
I try and make them...
I like to do that.
I put my film ideas into songs now, and that's why they have that kind of cinematic effect, I think.
So you'll bring the visual to the music that Mick's creating,
I think, you know, it's best when the video is in the song, you know, that gets your imagination going. And you don't have to literally interpret it with images, you know what I'm saying? That's the ultimate, I think.
We like it when it spontaneously happens, you know what I mean? So we got this thing called the Bad Film, which is like a whole bunch of stuff on us, plus a load of other people's bits of other people's movies that we like, you know? And it's all like stuck in there. You know, like sometimes you're just watching your video and you're listening to your record player at the same time, and it all just starts to happen in spontaneity, you know. We like that when that happens, you know what I mean? And that, some people come and say, wow, it's really incredible how you worked that out, you know, in the 12th number, when it all started really, you know, and the African tribesmen started dancing, but it's luck, really. In fact, a lot of our music is luck as well, like pot luck.
What do you think of music that not necessarily is competition for you, but music that's going on right now?
Well, we like individual records, you know. Don't like any groups in particular, but I like... If I hear a good record, then...
What do you feel about the commitment of bands to their music?
Well, I don't know. I think they're committed to their careers, a lot of them, you know, and jogging and muesli.
You keep fit freaks?
No, not far from it. Not that type of guy.
Yeah? What about you, Don?
No, it's painful. I don't run anywhere. You can't be black and run in London. The cops start chasing you.
What about the girls? Don't they...
Stop, thief. run from girls. No, not such luck. No such luck. Dan has to.
Dan has to.
Yeah, Dan and the drummer, they're our good lookers in the group. But we collect the dooby.
On the last album, there was... Basically, it was co-written and co-produced by yourself and Joe Strummer. Yeah. And he, as you say, appeared in Medicine Show. Are we going to see a closer link with Joe Strummer now as a result of this?
Well, you know, he's in Nicaragua. No,
he's on his way back.
Yeah, he might be on his way back, but I don't think so. You know, I think we're like really busy with Bad. You know.
He's not going to become a part.
There was a time when it might have been something. You know, I was going to work on his record or something, for instance. But I think the time has passed now. I've really got to get busy with this band. Do
you feel you've sort of brought together a tight group now? I mean, there's no sort of rusty edges.
Oh, they're very tight.
I don't know.
Leo's really tight.
You can't tell, really.
Yeah?
No, we sort of... Like, sometimes we're really tight, and then sometimes we're loose, baby.
What would you get loose sometimes, you know, you can't take it too seriously. Yeah, there's a lot of humour in the group.
We don't take it too seriously, none of it,
well,
really.
I mean, for me, the humour was there in the first album, and the second album, I don't see so much of it.
Yeah, we're trying to get too po-faced though.
No?
Well, no. We're going to get Les Dawson to
Critics laughed.
guest on the next LP.
Yeah?
Yeah.
And what do you want to do with your music from now on? I mean, do you see yourselves as sort of taking it into sort of soundtrack? Would you like to do a soundtrack?
I'm trying to take it to radio stations and get it played.
Yeah, right. But you don't see yourselves heading towards, you know, more work in films, actually, personally, or with big audio Dynamite?
Not me. I don't think that pop stars can act.
No?
Personally. I don't know. They might be able to make music, but...
A lot of them have a rough time being pop stars.
You don't like you have a rough time?
I'm not a pop star yet. I can tell by the questions you ask. They ask where you come from and where did you meet. When you're really a pop star, they don't ask you that stuff.
What do they ask?
They say, like, how was
it in Sri Lanka?
How was Aruba, baby?
Well, I can't ask you how it was in Rio because you haven't been there
wow,
yet.
I'm just back off the coast.
Yeah, what's it like being a tax exile? I don't know.
Well, I hope you will be one day.
No, I don't want to leave. I like London. London's been very good to me, I've got to tell you that. And this band can only exist in London as well, I think.
In Notting Hill?
London. There's a real healthy mix here that I get off on, you know. I like working, and there's it's very competitive here, and that keeps you on your toes. And that's what I kind of thrive on.
Mick?
Yeah, you're not allowed to rest on your laurels.
Yeah, you're as good as what you're doing, not what you've done.
Well, I hope you keep going, boys. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Cheers. All the best.
Okay.
And you.
Cheers, beers.
Rock on.
Rock on? Rock on!
Thanks a lot.
Rip.